sometimes we feel like this is what we have to do when we're at our annual physical. But I think it's probably worth having a conversation about that before we do it. What I mean is, if you ask a question and start talking about another healthcare problem that you might be having during your annual physical, your provider typically, if it's not a direct primary care relationship, is going to bill a separate code for that. Justin has a runny nose. Maybe this is an allergy. Boom. There's a 5-digit code that goes on there. Next thing you know, I had my annual physical, which is under ACA paid at 100%, but there's a little charge for a consult. It's worth having the conversation before you even start. So you go in, you're in the waiting room, then you go and you go to the smaller waiting room, and you don't have your magazine anymore. Actually, they stopped with the magazines, didn't they? Since COVID, you can't have your magazine. Everyone's got their phones anyway. They come in 10, 15 minutes late, right? After you fill out the paperwork or whatever it is. And then they start right away. Hey, hey. And then in fairness, they got a big waiting room full of people that they got to see. It's a volume game. We all know that, right? It sucks, but that's just healthcare today in 2025 in America. Right then and there, it is the point to say, look, I'm here for my annual physical. I have something else I'd like to talk about too. So what I want to get out on the table now is, if I talk about that, is it okay that we have a conversation and you're not billing me an extra $200 for the conversation that we're having while you're already here? Is that okay? Ask them that question. Put it on them. Because no rational person who is a healthcare provider and is trained to care for you would say, nope, sorry, it's an extra $200. Put it on them. Get it right out in the open there, okay? And say, look, and document it. Because you don't want to get that extra bill for the question that you wanted to ask and have to bill another appointment and come back in. They went to medical school. They're there because they want to help people. The fact that they're owned by a larger health system puts them in that awkward position. But put it right on them and say, look, I just have another question here, but I don't want to be billed separately for this question. I have something else going on. Can we talk about it without an extra charge? Ask them the question. If you don't ask, the answer is always no, right? So ask. It's worth doing that ahead of time so there's no surprises afterwards. This is, that's me. I'm the straight shooter with these things. Straight shooter.